Good evening, everyone. Today we are live again with another live session. So just give me a second to tune the stream so that I can see what you will be writing there. And we will start this video. So just a moment. Okay, now I should be able to see what you will be writing on the YouTube. Okay, so yesterday we finished with separating some parts from the sprue. As you remember, it was a cockpit, and now we have a cockpit ready. So here you can see it. It is a quite small sub-assembly, and here you can see it closer. Let's not forget that this is a 1/72 scale, so that's why it's not that big. I'll try to focus the camera. Maybe you will see somehow. Well, it does not focus. Why? Now it should be better visible. So here, completely standard cockpit, straight from Tamiya. And as you can see, I applied all the necessary decals. I applied also the seat belts decals. So good afternoon, Nikki. And as you can see, it's more or less nice sub-assembly. There were no problems with fitment whatsoever. The only thing which surprised me was when you actually apply decals, you have to go for the stencils on the middle cone between pilot legs, and you have to get the stencil here in the middle, almost in the middle of the decal sheet. That's not cool in my opinion, because they could have thought it out and made this whole section all together, because here we had the dials for the dashboard and also seat belts. You can see it on the silhouette. Well, all the decals are applied, and overall I would say it's really nice detailing for out of the box level. Thank you for the like, by the way. And here you can see also fuselage halves. They're also painted with this German gray, some fine painting applied here, and overall we can use this let's say detailing. And as you remember, next, thank you for the second like, by the way. So next step will be to combine those two halves together, let them dry a bit, and cockpit is will be inserted a bit later, because as you can see, it can be assembled without cockpit, and then cockpit is inserted from the bottom. But that's not what we will be talking about today. We'll put cockpit and other stuff aside. This will be done, let's say, not on the video. On the video we will be doing something different, and I would like to take this sprue and also this sprue in order to check the fitment of the parts. Thank you, David. So with cowling parts, why I'm a bit doubtful, I would like to see how those cowling panels will fit onto the fuselage parts. So let's start with the right one, and we'll see how it will work. So I'm going to use the sprue cutters, and attachment points are placed actually on the edges of this part. So as you can see, when you separate it, you have attachment point here and also here. So basically it can be corrected with a sharp knife and you will be good to go. Maybe you can send it with a file. It's I would say a matter of personal taste. I prefer to clean parts gradually with sharp knife, but maybe you would prefer to use the sanding file or something else. So okay, we are cleaning it a bit. Now it should be fine. Okay, and also front edge as well. All these edges will be barely visible because from the front it will be closed with propeller hub. Here on the bottom it will be closed with exhaust stacks, but still you have to be careful in order not to get some extra gaps just by sanding or cutting some extra thing off the plastic. So we have the right cowling panel, and it should be installed like this. So as you can see, there is perfectly flush fitment. I don't see any possible problem with this. And actually you can install these cowling panels without any issues. But why I'm not installing them now, because when you will be joining the fuselage halves, you can use this seam in order to apply more glue, so that's why we'll keep them separate. And don't forget that we also have this top cowling section, which should be glued somewhere here. Well, it is like this. Okay, let's go next. Next we have wing, and with wing it will be even more interesting in my opinion. But we also have another notable thing, is that tail plane is molded as a one-piece part, so I'm going to separate it as well. Just give me a second. 1, 2, and 3. Attachment points are quite thin, so it's not difficult to separate this part, and then we have to clean a bit these edges of the part. Frankly speaking, I'm not, let's say, sure why attachment points are placed on the leading edges when they could have been placed here and here, where they will be barely visible. But we have what we have, and we'll. I mean, there is no other way to around it, so you have to assemble it like this, or you have to separate parts from such parts division. And okay, so here we clean it a bit, then we clean it here. Okay, so as I say, tail wings are molded as a one-piece part. It should help you get the proper alignment, at least between tail wings, but elevators are also pre-molded. So basically you will put the hold this part on this tail area. It will be something like this, and then you will close everything with tail fin. And note that this part holds even like this without any glue. That's quite surprising. Okay, and next what I would like to do is to separate this lower wing half so that we can check it closer. Just give me a second. Well, actually there was a quite an interesting section. It's the part A13 and A14. That's the underside cowling. So basically you combine these two parts together, and now I'm going to separate them and glue them in place. So just give me a second once again. Carefully cut through those attachment points. Okay. Okay. I'll put the sprue to the side. With cowling panel, you will have to delete these attachment points as far as I can guess, because as you can see they go on the edge. So, but what I can see is that both pins should be, no, actually those should be deleted, the attachment points, because there are also guiding pins inside the port, but they are positioned on the perimeter of this part, so you won't confuse them with those guiding pins. And just give me a second to clean this one. Okay, now let's clean. Then we use this radiator and we also clean it up. So again, need a moment to cut off those small plastic stubs from both sides. Okay, and then it should be assembled something like this. So we insert this part into the underside cowling, and then you have the radiator looking outside, as you can see here. I think I will paint it first, because otherwise it will be a bit tricky to paint it through the hole, so I'll put it aside as well. And next we have wing parts. So with wing parts, typical for BF109 kit, no matter which scale, we have the air intakes separate, as you can see here, and you have to paint these radiators in advance because otherwise you won't have a chance. And it should be obviously the black color as far as I remember. Just give me a second to check it. No, it's actually metallic gray. So you should paint them in gray color. And only then you close them with the radiators. Actually the external panels. So we do have somewhere here the gray color. Well, maybe it is worth painting it a bit later. We can now separate those two parts. And for this, I guess I will have to use the plastic saw because attachment points go straight on the edge, and you can get really ugly result if you are uncareful with sprue cutters. So it's better to use the plastic saw. Just like this. Here as well. Okay. In the wing roots area, you can use the sprue cutter because, as you can see, it is placed right on the edge. So we cut it like this. And I would like to check what do we have here. So first of all, there are attachment points which go on the edge of the part. So keep it in mind and don't forget to clean off those attachment points because otherwise it will look ugly. So now I have to understand how to clean it off. Just give me a second. Okay, one point stop cut off. Here we have just to cut it off as well. As you remember, wing edges, they actually serve as a guiding element, so they're molded from both sides. And here in the wing roots area, we can just clean it like this, and it should be more than enough. Okay. So with this step, I'm going to cut it off a bit. Okay. Okay, so this wing half is clean, more or less. And as you can see, we have all the wing mechanization pre-molded, so you won't be able to drop any flaps or move the ailerons on your aircraft, forget about it. Maybe it will be possible to do it with some aftermarket piece set, and you know where to get it, but for now, all those parts are fixed. Even the front wing slats are fixed. Thank you for the third like, by the way. And you will have to cope with it. And next, I still would like to separate this lower wing half. So just give me a second to cut through all those attachment points. In total, there are 5 attachment points which hold this part in place. Okay. So we rotate it here. Here I would rather use the plastic saw. Of course, part has already the right angle which should be needed for this aircraft, as you can see here. So no worries, it is already pre-molded as it should be. That's really cool, in my opinion. Okay, so we clean all those 5 attachment points. By the way, there are guiding pins inside the wing halves, so I guess they will be helpful as well. First, let me clean the plastic stubs. so we can try the dry fitment of both halves together. Okay. Okay. Actually, I'm surprised that in some areas those connecting pins are going on the edge from the other side, high chancer, and that might cause some difficulties for those who don't have experience with such parts. But here we have the dry fitment of the wing. It's more or less nice. Here you can see that all wing mechanization will serve as a guiding element. So as you remember, we can remove it like this. And then we go back, it is like this. So yes, I like the fitment. It's really good. And I hope it will be easy to glue those parts together with fuselage. Maybe we can even try to do a bit more, let's say, detailed dry fit. So we combine those two fuselage halves together. Then we have this one of the wing sides already assembled. So we just so you have to, I guess you have to insert the wing, and then you get really nice flush fitment, as you can see here in the wing root area. And I think I should do something like this. Now you should be able to see it. So it looks a bit ugly, I would say. Why? Because it's a dry fitment. Let's not forget, as you can see, part fell off. But I really like how those parts connect together. I don't see any possible issues here. Maybe the wing roots area might require attention, but I will try to use the liquid glue in order to avoid such problems. And otherwise, even this area, which is usually problematic on this aircraft type kits, it looks really good. So just a bit of pressure and it should be fine, completely fine in my opinion. So okay, those were the wing parts. That's really nice how this small sized model feels in hands, because when you handle the 148 scale kit, it's like something big already, and here it is, I mean, you can fit it on your palm. And actually I realized it yesterday that I should have some um, academic kit. I built it a long time ago. It was G10, I think, in a winter version. You can find build review on the website. But I'll just put it to compare with this aircraft when it will be finished. It will be quite interesting to get them together, let's say. So I think that's all for today. All I will have to do after this video is to glue the fuselage halves together and leave them aside to dry overnight. Then we will continue with painting the air intakes here and actually radiators and also here. And then we will close the radiators here. We also glue this part in place on the lower cowling panel. And by the way, with this underside cowling panel, I can also check something interesting. So it should be installed somewhere here. So fitment now looks more or less fine. I guess I will have to play a bit with it. Here you can see it, but I hope it will be easy to get the right proper fitment with these ports. Otherwise, as you can see, even this radiator, the small one, you can just put it inside, fix it with the special tabs, and that's not glued part and still stays in place. That's really cool. Next, what will be done is installation of the tail surfaces. As you remember, those are molded as a separate parts. So we will install them here, and with closed fuselage halves, it will look something like this. Here you can see it. And of course, tail fin will go on the top. It will actually close the part from the movement. And as far as I remember, tail fin is molded with rudder, so it will be installed straight from the top. And also don't forget about the cowling panels. So cowling panels will be installed like this. So all this, what you can see now, maybe I will try to combine it with a wing part. Okay, and also the top wing half. Okay, so now we just carefully put it on the table. Cowling panel fall off. Okay, so here is a dry fitment. All those parts are holding by themselves. There is no glue, no sticky tape, nothing. It's just a let's say the tension of the parts connected together. That's what shows the quality of the kit in my opinion, because as you can see, it can be even put together without any glue and still it holds together. Especially if you close another wing half, I guess it will be even tighter fitment. In my opinion, that's really impressive, and we don't even have the cockpit inside, by the way. So that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Of course, thank you for joining this evening, and tomorrow I will try to show you already some advancement in those parts. And of course, don't forget to write your opinion there in the comment section below. If you like this video, don't forget to press the like button because it helps us greatly. And of course, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and I will see you in the next video reviews.